Hey, this is Lance with 20 Sided Night.
And I'm Evan.
And today we're going to look at some of the key differences between Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and Starfinder. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll sort of know the difference between the two and figure out which one works best for you and your table. Please remember to subscribe and then drop a comment if you want us to make a video about anything else or tell me to lose some weight or whatever. But you can't see me because I'm behind this.
Yeah, I'm very much exposed.
Yeah, exactly.
So the main four differences that we're going to talk about are settings, rules, just stuff you can buy for general merch, and also the accessibility of each of the games.
Yeah, those are the biggest things to worry about when picking up any of the game. You gotta want to know where to get it. Am I gonna find a group? Just things like, is the store actually going to have stuff in for it here? The setting for Starfinder is actually going to get the point for me. There are a lot of games which cater to the fantasy setting, whether that be Exalted, The Nightmare That Is GURPS, Pathfinder 1 and 2, obviously D&D stuff. That's about as high as I care to count. However, Starfinder has the sci-fi genre pretty much in the bag. I know you can kind of run a GURPS sci-fi game, but...
Yeah, GURPS is whatever GURPS wants to be.
GURPS is a game that you pick up when you want to flex on your other tabletop role-playing nerds. Like, hey, I play Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, or I play Advanced Rules, or whatever.
It's like, I play GURPS, and it's like, you get out of here,
get out of here, dork! Yeah, exactly.
And they pants you and pull your pants out and spank your little bra.
Yeah, they you with a wine bottle. But there are a lot of games that sort of cater to the fantasy setting, where Starfinder it does it, and also with Starfinder it's a pretty open system too, so you can run a higher magic world, you can run a more modern game, something super far future, and also if you stick with just the just like the lore of Starfinder itself, it has some pretty cool and interesting lore to go into, so even if you just play the system, it's pretty fun. And I feel like there's a lot of games where it tries to be a Dungeons & Dragons-like game, where it's just...
it's not. It kind of falls short.
It's a Dragonlance setting, but just this time it's called the Kobold Spear game.
Yeah, I really do like Starfinder. I also like Dungeons & Dragons. I like Starfinder a lot because it's hot, it's new. We've been playing it for a while, and we've been in enough ye olde taverns. It's nice, but also what's really nice about Starfinder is it's its own thing, because I know there are other sci-fi games you play. I know there's like a whole bunch of different Star Wars tabletop games and Star Trek, but it's something where you don't have to just be like, hey, so who's going to be the sexy gonk droid, or who's going to be
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, who's going to be
playing in a Star Wars setting, you're going to want to be Luke Skywalker or sexy gonk droid.
Yeah.
Which...
Sexy gonk droid.
Oh yeah, but also if you do want to pick those iconic people, the sci-fi setting is super open to if you want to play like a comic book setting, or if you want to play something like the Avengers or Blade Runner or anything like that. It is open enough, and there's a lot of options in this game that I feel like Paizo does really well with the systems that they come up with. So the setting, I like the setting of Starfinder more. For the rules aspect of which game you're going to pick out, whether it's Dungeons & Dragons or Starfinder, that really depends on your experience with TTRPGs. For newer players, you're probably going to want to stick with 5th edition. The rules are super streamlined, they're easy, and it's kind of open enough where you can really kind of
finesse your way.
Finesse your way into getting your footing, basically. Where with Starfinder, it can look a little bit daunting getting a book that basically looks like a Cheesecake Factory menu. This thing is like a couple inches thick, and it covers everything. That's good if you really want to branch out and make a unique character or some sort of unique setting, and you're not afraid to get into those rules.
Or if you want to do something unique and crazy, like when everyone decided that your character had boots of flying, so they're going to make an air flying cleric where it's like, all right, so we're going to just be shoving good berries in your mouth all day.
Yeah, because you're all small. Like, Starfinder would have nipped that in the butt and said, no, you can't do that, this is why. And then you could have possibly found a way around that. Where Starfinder or D&D, if you do run into a roadblock,
there's probably a rule for that.
Yeah, but,
which... I kind of like it. It can be good or bad. Like, it can be bad because it's a lot of rules, and it's if you're newer. Like, I know we've been playing it for a hot minute, and I know there's a lot of times like if I'm running my games, I'm like, wait, is that a thing we can do? And then we'll be like, but there probably is like a rule for it. And then the next time it happens, you can look it up in a book, and it won't be really loosey-goosey. Like if in D&D, if you're trying to find something really weird and you have to home rule something, you have to like remember exactly what the rule was, because then next week, if that happens again, or if you're going to another table, it's going to be like, well, when we did this, we did this, and that DM, I'd be like, all right, well, fun for you, but at my table, we don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not that guy or that gal or that. So to close things out, 5th edition, fabulous if you are newer. Starfinder, tremendous if you have a bit of experience or if you just want to try something new. Or if you want to get good at this real quick, at Starfinder real quick, you can also watch our What Is playlist if you want to be a pro. And you can listen to my gross voice for longer than 5 minutes. Yeah. Sorry.
So going over some of the materials that are available, I feel like D&D has a little bit more to offer for things, not just things like books, which I favor a little bit more just because of how they're organized, not for content, but I do like how they do have more generalized. They have more things like minis that you can easily find, t-shirts because they're big old Dorkosauruses, and you can just sort of buy those. But if you want to buy like a Starfinder shirt, you have to go like Paizo's website and look under Starfinder, and they understandably they only have a few options because they've been around for like
a couple of years.
Yeah, so yeah, it'd be like a real whole thing from like, no, I demand you have 1,000 shirts for me. Yeah, but hopefully they'll catch up soon. One thing, getting to the books a little bit, I do like how each book is a little bit more focused. As we're Starfinder, I feel like a lot of the material for each of the books, they do have a theme, but also it's kind of scattered throughout everything. Like I know when we're looking up things like how to work different rules or different lore things, I feel like we have to have like a tab, like a window open with like 10 different tabs so we can just try to search through everything. Kind of feel like we're being a feature cop in Minority Report where we're like, grab this, and compile all this, and then bam.
Yeah, it's always super easy when trying to come up with any lore for the game or trying to make sure that you're not conflicting anything, having to mash it all together. When you did mention that about materials for the game, keep in mind that Starfinder isn't a proverbial wasteland when it comes to looking for supplemental material. However, you may have to look third party. There's a lot of great creators who are making just Starfinder compatible things, and for finding minis it's going to be a bit of an endeavor. The line that I use for minis, just generic ones, you don't really have a lot of free paint options available to you. But if you are a painter, you can get like Mantic Games. I know they make a Dead Zone miniatures for Starfinder. There's a few different ships you can obviously use from like a bunch of like Star Trek, Star Wars, all that good stuff. You can go 40K if you're rich. Also, if you're rich, maybe kick some money my way. I'll sell you my premium Snapchat. I'll do whatever for you, Daddy. But anyway, but again, if you are looking for materials like that, it might be a bit of a task. However, for the books themselves, I like what Starfinder did when they combined the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide into one big book. Just so that you can just buy one book for the table and everybody can be set. Maybe one book for the table and then one book for the Game Daddy. Yeah. Just so that there's less clutter on the table, or just pick up 2 PDFs for $20 and you'll be set. I know the pack roll book to supplement that one's a little bit of it's kind of like Xanathar's Guide, where it's just a supplement, where you can get away with just a core rule book and one of the Alien Archives, or go to sfrpgtools.com and generate monsters from there, because good luck doing that if you don't have that for any system you run. So leaning a little bit more towards D&D if just for the access to materials.
So in regards to getting new people into the game, like we were talking about earlier, I do think that D&D is a lot better for getting people who are newer to tabletop games, just because Starfinder, it is super rulesy, which is good and bad. Good because if there's like a weird thing, like if someone's like, hey, what would happen if I strap this dead body to myself to make like person armor? In D&D, you're just like, wow, okay, young. But in Starfinder, I haven't checked, but I'd be surprised if they didn't have a rule for strapping weird stuff to your armor.
Well, there's like a rule for like carrying people in both games, but Starfinder is good at going into it. There's a reason this book is so thick. It does its best to try to cover pretty much everything. You can tell there's a lot of playtesting stuff that goes on here, and they didn't try to cut out the fat so much. This is good.
Yeah, but also what's good for newcomers is if you haven't played like a tabletop game before, let's say you found like a herd of jocks and you separated one from the herd because you're like, hey, we got liquor and creatine. They're like, what? Liquor, creatine? And then you force them to play Dungeons and Dragons. They won't be like scared and confused and crying. They'll be like, come on, just roll a dice and be like a little stripper,
like a barbarian or something.
Yeah, and it's easier for them just because in 3.5 they had a bunch of crazy sort of Starfinder-esque rules where it's like, all right, now here's your stat, if you're depressed or something. But in 5th edition, it's like, hey, so you get advantage or disadvantage, which
they cut out a lot of just the random nonsense rules. So it's easier for new people to get involved. I know if I were to start a game, I would move into Starfinder because the rules are so different. I've been playing D&D for decades, and it's something super refreshing and new that if you haven't been playing for so long and you want to try something that's not fantasy, but then it also has more of a community to do within the Exalted than how many of the dozens of people that play Exalted or the 8 people that play GURPS or anything like that. You can find more people with this. Not as much as D&D, obviously, so that's why for newcomers, absolutely Dungeons and Dragons is the way to go. Not to put Starfinder on some weird elitist pedestal or anything like that. That's just how it is. If you're newer to it, you're probably going to want to pick up Starfinder. If you're newer to it, you're probably going to want to pick up D&D just to get your footing into playing these games. But once you get a feel for the rules and all that good stuff and how these games sort of work, Starfinder, it's super fun.
And just talking about versatility, I really do love Starfinder for that. It's really good. It's really versatile. Like I said, if there's a rule, like if your players start doing something weird, like what happens if I strap a bunch of dead bodies to myself? Starfinder has a rule for that. Or also, there's a lot more things you can do. Like you can drive cars, you can do spaceships, you can get your spaceship captured, you can get your spaceship blown up and eaten. A lot of things you can do. But also, there's enough weird things like you're saying where they talk about the weird stuff. Like, hey, so I know we're driving a car, but I want to Mad Max someone by tying a landmine to this 10-foot pole and jumping at him. How's that going to work? Starfinder's like, actually, the rules are this, and yeah, it's really nice.
One cool thing also about just both of them, the game isn't one-to-one. So Starfinder isn't just Dungeons and Dragons or even Pathfinder for that matter in space. The classes are totally different. Sure, you're going to have your fighting person like your soldier in here against your fighter in here, but they're pretty far apart. Solarian is pretty different from anything in here. Mechanic is its own sort of deal. And so just because you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're really into that, give Starfinder a look, because it's not just Dungeons and Dragons in space. Probably one of the most important things about playing tabletop role-playing games is actually finding some people to play the tabletop role-playing games with. And for finding newcomers to a group or just finding a group in general, Dungeons and Dragons is where it's at. It's basically the Coca-Cola of these games. It has the name recognition, the minis, the materials. It has a huge audience to it where it's been on TV, where not a lot of people know about Starfinder. It's fine, it's newer, but Dungeons and Dragons, it has everything you need to get somebody into the game if they're new or if they've been playing for a long time or if they're taking a break.
Yeah, it's really nice. And like we've said before, if you're starting just out, maybe get D&D. I don't know. I like it just because D&D's been around for a while, but it's kind of like Starfinder's like Rocky and D&D's Apollo Creed. So sometimes you got to stay hungry.
I don't know what that means, but which system do you prefer? Do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Do you feel we didn't give Starfinder a good enough break? Are you one of those creeps that likes GURPS? Let us know down in the comments down below, and remember to share this video with your friends, and bye for now.